is the external nares? Nostril. So you would say nostril, your doctor's going to say external nares. Alright, so then we have your nasal cavity. Let's do, where's your vestibule? Or vestibulae? That's where the boogers hang out, right here, the entrance to your nostril, right? Nasal septum, where is that on the picture?
It's not on the picture.
Very good. The nasal septum is not on the picture because that's what they cut you, right? That's the vertical line wall. So they took off the nasal septum when they cut you. But I bet you money you can tell me A, B, and C. What's A?
Superior, inferior.
Superior, middle, and inferior nasal concha. So where's the meatus?
In between.
In between. That's the tubing that's under or between the conchae. So the conchae is the bump, the meatus is the hole or the space. You're supposed to know the paranasal sinuses from 231. There are two of them on here. Which one's this one? I can change your grade up to a year after you take your class. That's sphenoidal sinus. This one here, frontal sinus. There's two others you better know soon. Okay, let's do hard palate. Give me a letter for hard palate. H. That's the roof of your mouth or your palatine bone. Where's soft palate? Take a S. How about that? It's the back, right? All right, so let's do some pharynx. From lecture, where's your pharynx?
Behind the nose.
Behind the nose, behind the mouth, behind the throat. So it's the back. So we're going to break it down. If I go from here up to there, which pharynx is that one? Naso. If I go here to about here, oro. Here to here, laryngo. So upper third, middle third, or basically nose, back of throat, mouth, back of throat, larynx, back of throat. So you're breaking it down basically in 3 parts. Those are all pharynges. Make sense? Okay. So in the nasopharynx, you have some parts. Where's your internal nares? What letter? U. In English, inside nostril. So if you get your boogers this way, you'd have to come around that opening there is the opposite of that one. So that's your internal nares, your internal posterior nasal aperture. Then we have something labeled V. What is V? Very good. Remember last time the eustachian tube you learned? That's where it comes out in your upper airway. So that's your opening of your auditory or pharyngeal lymphatic tube. All right, then you're supposed to know letter F.
Palatine tonsil?
It's a tonsil, but not palatine. Pharyngeal, because it's my pharynx. That's also called your adenoid. Right, that's the one protecting. Remember last time we learned lymph nodes protect. That's protecting the entrance to your ear there. That's one of the lymph nodes. So that's all in my nasoland. Now we're going to go down to my oroland, which has a few things. I need a palatine tonsil. I want it now. Give me a letter.
I-F-I-X. What are those? X. X.
K. K. It's hard to see, I know. Okay. It's the bump on the side of your jaw back in there. So give me T. What's T going to be?
It's going to be a vowel.
Lingual tonsil. On the tongue tonsil. So your palatine is one that people talk about getting removed. The lingual is actually on the tongue. Those are lymph nodes in those locations. So fauces is the most overrated word in town. What's a faucet at your home? It's an opening where stuff goes in and out, right? A fauces in your mouth, you have an external fauces where you open your lips. You have an internal fauces where the food goes into your pharynx. It just means the opening to your jaw, basically. Uvula. Find it. That's I. That's the dilly-dangle hanging down. That's so scientific sounding, right? The dilly-dangle hanging down in your mouth. That's your uvula. That's in my oro. Now I'm going to go laryngo. This is where life gets more busy. So in my laryngopharynx, the big thing, what's all this structure here? The whole thing. Larynx. So the whole thing is the larynx. I have to zoom in on this. So larynx, again, is just the top part right here before you go down this way. So we're going to name some stuff. I want number 1. Thyroid cartilage, because your thyroid gland lives on it. That's your thyroid cartilage. I want number 2. Cricoid cartilage, or cricoid, they're both. So cricoid pressure to an EMT. That's the one, that's the blue below that one. Then these ones, number 9, tracheal, because they're in your trachea. Right? So the blue is our cartilage, so thyroid, cricoid, and then tracheal. Top of it. Epiglottis. Amen. So that's my epiglottis. That's the flap that's going to fold down looking at from the rear. That's the thing that points up on top of my airway, epiglottis. Then we have these blue things here. Okay, number 5 is this weird looking hook thing. Arytenoid cartilage. Okay, if you look at the tip of number 5, you get this bump number 6. What's number 6?
Uniform.
Try again. Corniculate, in order actually. That's the corniculate cartilage. There's one that's not shown, which would be up here, which would be the cuneiform. Excuse me. So you have 3 of them. You have arytenoid, corniculate, and cuneiform. Form 3 that go up the back there.
What is the gland on the side of it on the model? It's on our model.
Should be a thyroid if it's on that.
Okay.
So those are the 3 in the back of it. So you have the thyroid, cricoid, those are on the front basically, and then arytenoid, corniculate, and cuneiform on the back. You okay with those? That'll work. So remind me what number 2 is again? How about number 3? Cricoid cartilage. Okay, so now we're going to go inside that. We have A and B over there. What's A?
Where's the A? I don't see the A.
Vestibular fold.
Vestibular fold would work, or you could say false vocal cord. So on your quiz, either put vestibular fold or false vocal cord. Don't put like vocal fold. 'Cause I don't know if you actually know what it is or just making this up. So either put vestibular fold or false vocal cord. Don't mix and match stuff. That's bad. Because the second one, B, is what? That's the vocal fold or the true vocal cord. So either do false and true or vestibular and vocal. Don't give me like true vestibular fold. I'm just going to throw that one out. Right? I learned false and true. That's what I learned. But the top one's always the fake one. The bottom one's always the true one. Right, so those are your vocal cords or folds. Make sense? Alright, so now we have some other problems. We got to name these tissues between the blue. We'll start with this one, which has the number. What do you call that? So thyroid hyoid membrane. Right? There's one, it's hard to see on this picture, there's one right here. Cricothyroid ligament. And there's one here. Cricotracheal. So you're naming it between the blues. Just name the 2 blues. So thyroid hyoid, cricothyroid, cricotracheal. You're just naming the 2 parts that make the connection. What you have to remember is membrane versus ligament, which is a
If
pain.
it's a hyoid,
Thyroid.
membrane, would that be okay?
Technical answer is no. It has to be thyroid hyoid, but I'm a forgiving, merciful guy.
Oh.
That's how mad I am at you that day.
Okay.
Right? Yes. Yes.
Is the one headed from the top down, is the middle one then the cricothyroid?
Cricothyroid.
Okay,
And then cricotracheal.
okay, so I have that.
So then the magic one I always ask somewhere, there's a big bump right here, right there. What is that bump? Laryngeal prominence, which we all know is an Adam's apple, but of course you can't bill someone for Adam's apple, so you're going to say laryngeal prominence. Sticks out your larynx. So find me a hyoid bone on this picture. What number is it? Number 1. So that's the hyoid bone you learned in 231. Right, so larynx, you're going to name all the blue stuff, basically. That's the important part of the larynx. Make sense? That's upper airway. Now we got to go down from larynx. So now we're past the pharynx. We're now down in the larynx.
Yes.
All right, so let's find something that wasn't in your lab manual. Where's your carina?
It's a split.
It's a split between 12 and 11. Sorry, 12 and 11. So right there, that V is your carina. So tell me what 11 and 12 actually are.
Primary bronchus.
You can say primary bronchi or main or synonyms. The rule is every time you split, you give it another number. So this is number 1, or main, or primary. So how about number 14? Secondary. Secondary, they're the next split, right? So there's secondary, also called lobars. And then there'd be a split further down, which you can't really see.
Tertiary.
It'd be tertiary or segmental. Those are all, so 1 to 2, 2 to whatever, on and so forth. All right? So then what would come after your tertiary bronchi? Bronchioles, which are smaller. And then we go down from there. So I'm going to 15. Primary what? Bronchus or bronchi. How about number 22s? And 23s? Those are secondaries. Okay, smarties, give me 2016. Tertiaries, brand new. Right, so split. So then, if these got small enough so you couldn't see them, then you'd be in the bronchioles. And then you'd be in the alveoli, all that. So all that's microscopic. So on these models, all you can really get down to is the bronchus level. can't really get past that.
What's the difference between this terminal bronchi and the respiratory bronchi?
We'll get that, that's on a slide. Hold that thought.
Right.
Oh wait, there's more. We're supposed to do the lungs themselves. So, let's figure that out. Can someone tell me where the root is on this model?
In the hilum.
In the hilum. So tell me where the hilum is in this model.
The hilum is the indentation where those bronchies are going in.
How about that? So, a hilum
Hilum.
is a depression. So,
Oh, I remember
this little
the hilum.
scoop out, right here and here, the kidney bean look, those are called hilus or hilum. The stuff in the hilum, all the plumbing we call it, that's the root. So the analogy is, you pull a plant out of the ground, you got the roots is all the stuff, the hilum is the whole. Right? So the hilum is the depression, the root is all the plumbing that lives in that depression. Make sense? So they're the same place, they're not the same thing. So where's the base of your lung?
Concave bottom.
Listen to you, concave bottom. Where's the apex?
I just read
The
it.
chest.
He just read it. Don't ruin the lie. Come on. Right. Apex is the top, like you expect. Okay, costal surface. Show me where it is.
Anything touching the ribs.
Anything touching your ribs. So in English, it's the outside of your lungs, the part that'd be on the rib side or lateral side. Okay, cardiac notch. Is it on there?
Wait, Mr. Christie.
Yes.
With the intercostal